Hey everyone, it's Leisha Berry, artist, author, and steerswoman, and half of the dynamic duo of Leisha and Peter Berry of Juicy Sacred Living and the um, originators of the Aquarian Gospels. I'm here to read a story to you today of how the feminine and the masculine got to be so far apart. And when I say feminine and masculine, I'm not talking about man and woman. I'm not talking about gender. I'm not talking about our bodies. I'm talking about the internal and external energy dynamics of feminine and masculine energy, archetypal feminine and masculine energy. So these are the energies, the two polar opposite energies that comprise all of the physical universe, and the creative friction and tension between those two is what actually holds the physical universe into its physical format. Without these two polar opposites, we would have no physical universe. And so we're it's not a bad thing to be in gratitude for these two polar opposites. So duality actually serves the ability of being able to be physical. So we want to thank duality for that. However, we're in a very odd and difficult time where we see the extent of the damage of the masculine in its swing away from the feminine, and that lack of partnership over many thousands of years, culminating in a really intense focal point in the last couple hundred of years, and to today, where we have this intense focal point of the United States election and the face of the patriarchal structure in one of the candidates falling away, falling apart, and the intense awakening of humanity to itself and to the domination and predatory nature of the unpartnered masculine energy. So all of that may sound kind of abstract, but if you start thinking about it and just listen to these stories, you'll understand what I'm talking about, because you can feel it. You remember. It's in your body. You know this stuff. So I'm gonna just read to you from the material that came through me in 2010, the Aquarian Gospels, which is a series of 81 collages that wound up to be a 600-page manuscript full of material and teachings that I've been teaching for 6 years. I'm going to read you just the portion that explains briefly how we got to where we are. Once upon a time, there was peace. The masculine principle desired to expand its knowing of itself, and it began by making choices. These choices compressed all of creation towards the end of the masculine knowing itself. The compressions resulted in the masculine principle fracturing the world. Manifestations included the subjugation of nature and the masculine principle's partner, the feminine. In coming to know itself, the masculine revealed the need for balance. All of creation supported, in love, the masculine's desire to know itself. All of creation was in agreement with the expressions of the out-of-balance world that the masculine created. So when the time came to correct the imbalance, the feminine stepped in to bring balance. The feminine principle held the space within which the masculine began to mend the fractures. The feminine invoked the powers of balance to assist in the mending. The return created a stirring in the hearts of mankind, humankind, which opened a door to a side of themselves that they had forgotten. The return of the feminine created a choice to continue in the imbalance or to embrace a new wholeness. The choice became more and more apparent as the worlds collided. Friction, the result of two coming together to become one, was the medium to invoke the choice. The friction became so prevalent as to capture all of creation's interest. Spectators and supporters attended the great rebalancing. Across the farthest reaches, the story was felt and held. The love that emanated from all creation provided an alchemical support which increased the intensity of the friction. The increased friction acted like sandpaper, destroying old patterns, cleansing and reordering became the way of life. The new wholeness was achieved through the union of the feminine and the masculine principles, and balance again reigned. So that's the story. That is, in a nutshell, what has been happening in the human race since almost the beginning of our recorded history. It is since the beginning of our recorded history. It predates our recorded history. And again, this material came through my art, guided art, like inspired, like direct conduit kind of art. And I recognize artists are often tapped through inspiration to bring God's story to show the people. So I'm hopeful that this story touches you in some way. There's more. Just keep posted at Juicy Sacred Living, and I'll continue to tell you more of these stories, and Peter and I together will. Okay, lots of love to you.